Hi, my name is Juan.
My name is Charnay.
Brianna,
Griffin,
Evan.
And Maddie.
My definition of leadership is being the captain of a certain group, and that was my initial thought.
My first definition of leadership was that leadership was only designated for individuals who worked for that opportunity. So it wasn't just for everyone. Everyone.
my definition of leadership is putting others before yourselves and being a servant leader.
my definition of a leader was an individual who can accurately represent and guide a group, someone who can create social change to better the lives of the members of the group, someone who can nurture their followers intimately.
Initially, I thought leadership meant using various types of influence to control a group of people, using it to better or worsen the given situation.
Having a position of power and using that position to accomplish individual goals. Those were our initial thoughts about leadership before this class.
An important lesson Craig Dunn taught us was that the biggest threat to effective leadership is self-deception. When people begin to tell you how much power you hold, you stop reflecting on your character flaws and moral discrepancies. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge your ideas helps you grow as an individual and as a leader.
Dunn taught us to always lead through your actions. Having the integrity to follow through with a task, no matter the difficulty, is one of the greatest leadership skills you can have. When Craig's friend died, he did everything in his power to follow through with his friend's last wishes, regardless of how he felt towards them. This is an example of how good leadership builds ethics and morals in the real world.
Amy Appleton's presentation about reflection produced the idea that we should take individual and physical time out of our day to reflect on things that are going on. So instances, confrontations, we should have a set scheduled time to take reflection and think about how we can apply the lessons from that into daily life.
Our character traits define who we are, and those consist of courage, prudence, optimism, integrity, humility, reverence, compassion, and justice.
It is important to create an environment as a leader where followers can have an open dialogue about the values and the morality of the leader's actions. Having a constant critique will help me reassess my actions and my motivations to a more moral means.
It's important to know your character strengths so that the leader or individual can be successful in ethical responsibilities and positions that require aspects related to their strongest character strengths.
Also, knowing your character weaknesses helps you focus on what you need to improve on when going out into the real world as a person that is looked upon.
A leader of servitude uses 5 attributes to help their constituents: stewardship, obligation, partnership, emotional healing, and elevating purpose. However, this seems more unrealistic and possesses the danger of following the wrong cause. There are also methods of leadership through utilitarianism and Taoism, but it is most important to follow the one that most accurately defines myself, and for that I would probably have to say that my values most accurately co-align with a mixture of servitude and transformation. It is important to understand where your values are and what you hope to accomplish in choosing what leadership style is right for you. With these leadership styles, it is important to understand how you will deal with ethical dilemmas. I don't agree with Kant's idea of doing what is morally right, whatever the circumstance may be. I believe there are exceptions for every rule, and to blindly follow a rule, it may cause people to do something that they may be morally objected to. I do, however, agree with the utilitarian idea. I think it is important to see everyone's life and your own as equal. If you would choose the greatest good for the largest amount of people. You would follow utilitarianism.
These concepts directly create our pillars for leadership, and our book we've read is our manual to being good leaders.
In the Martin Luther King article, King describes leaders into 2 groups as being tough-minded and tender-hearted, meaning that we need to not be fluid in our decisions, but to have a tough mind when making decisions and tender-hearted to take everyone else's opinions and matters into their decisions.
It is important to lead with compassion in your heart, but to lead with a strong will. You have to be able to have compassion for others and be able to stand against adversity. If you are soft-minded, you are likely to have prejudice and be hypocritical since you are lacking the discipline to stay true to your ethics. And if you are hard-hearted, you will lack compassion and understanding for the people you interact with.
The empowering aspect of the Service Learning Project was that the LDST Leadership 100 class wasn't the only group that was present. The WCC, or Whatcom Community College, volunteer members, and community members all came together to make a difference for the Nooksack salmon preservation.
In the group, we all met up early on a Saturday morning. A large number of us didn't know each other, so there was the discomfort of strangers, and we were doing labor-intensive work. It was a struggle for even the most optimistic person to have high spirits. It was only through humor that we were able to open up, get to know one another, and to have some fun. It wasn't long before we were all laughing and rushing to go out next week.
When working in the service learning project, it is important to always think about how your character strengths and weaknesses affect your group throughout the project.
Our service project taught us that we all have a concentration and focus on a character trait, but we're all together to achieve the same goal, showing that everyone has their own style of leadership and we all pursue the same goal.
Going to a low-income housing community computer lab in Tacoma, I worked on my character weaknesses by showing that I am a team player and helping them with all of their homework. Just like the service learning project for leadership, all of the kids work together for the common good.
After my time in this class, I realized leadership is much more about looking at yourself and using your strengths and weaknesses to better you as a leader.
There are a large variety of definitions of leadership that I subscribe to now. It includes a high amount of commitment and follow-through with said commitment. It means working alongside a group of people instead of in front of. It means putting the wellness and the profit of the group in the utilitarian good instead of the individual's profit.
After my experiences in leadership, I believe it is doing the good things when no one is watching, having integrity.
This class has taught me that leadership can be exercised by everyone in everyday situations. Leadership is not designated for a particular person or individual.
My definition of leadership now is being able to put others' needs before mine, to create a bond with others, to be a good follower and leader.
Collaborating with others to accomplish goals that benefit the quality of others rather than your own. And this is my new definition of leadership after attending the Leadership 100 class.